Welcome to Charlotte for a match in which a division battle will be seen for the top spot in the NFC South, in which nobody's expected this at the start of the season. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers began 6-2, but after their bye week, they have went 1-5. They went 1-5 after the bye. The Carolina Panthers have been the most cardiac team in the league, as despite getting swept in their season series against the New Orleans Saints, they have managed to beat the Green Bay Packers and the Los Angeles Rams. But here, this will be for all the marbles and to possibly to decide who will be up front in the NFC South. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava, and it's safe to say that for the Bucs, this game is must win for them to save their playoff chances. They have lost 5 of their last 6 and are tied with Carolina for first in the NFC South, holding tiebreaker on record in common games. What's puzzling is that they have gotten drastically healthier during their decline, of all Mike Evans, Bucky Irving, and Chris Godwin all healthy. However, despite that talent, the efficiency has been horrid. They are 24th in EPA per play, 23rd in red zone scoring rate, and 25th in yards per pass. Not pushing the ball down the field and a failure to finish drives has plagued them, and getting it together on the road in a critical matchup is a tough task, given their current state. While the Panthers' defense is nothing to write home about, Carolina's been stout in the red zone on defense. However, the Panthers blew their chance to take command of the NFC South with their loss to the New Orleans Saints. But this is a spot for them to clean things up by taking down the Bucs in front of their home crowd. Carolina has been its best at home, going 4-2, with the latest win being a stunner against the Rams, where the potential at the passing attack was on full display. The chances of Bryce Young repeating that performance are higher than people think. The Bucs secondary has been abysmal, ranking 26th in opponent completion percentage and 28th in yards per pass allowed. However, Carolina has its fair share of inefficient stretches, tied for 20th in third down conversion rate, 26th in red zone scoring rate, and 24th in touchdowns per game. Let's go over to the keys with this game. We begin with the Buccaneers, where they have to start with early momentum. Divisional games often swing on fast starts, and both teams showed that they can play their best football when they strike early. The Bucs need to establish rhythm in the opening drives, using tempo and balance to put pressure on Carolina's defense. If they can build an early lead, they can dictate play calling and force the Panthers out of their comfort zone. Tampa cannot continue blowing leads when they get them. That means don't abandon the passing game to set a tone, but get physical early. Mix in early runs with Bucky Irving and Rachaad White and prevent the Panthers from teeing off of Baker Mayfield. Modest gains on early downs help Tampa stay ahead of the chains and keep the playbook open. Mike Evans has been the focal point of these matchups too. He has consistently punished Carolina throughout his career, and the Panthers secondary again faces the challenge of dealing with his size, strength, and ability to win contested catches. Whether the Panthers go for single coverage or roll safety help his way, Evans forces defensive adjustments on every snap. If left one-on-one, Mayfield won't hesitate to throw him vertically. If bracketed, it opens space underneath for the rest of the passing attack. Any which way, the Bucs must lean into his ability to win contested catches and draw coverage. The deciding looks that isolate him on the outside or force Carolina to overcommit help create opportunities against this formation. Do remember, in his return with the Buccaneers, he dominated the Atlanta Falcons last week with 132 receiving yards. First, to disrupt the quick passing game. Carolina wants Bryce Young to get rid of quick throws, screens, and checkdowns, and it's up to Tampa's linebackers to disrupt it. Levante David and Servosia Dennis must track those plays quickly, close space, and limit yards after the catch. If the Bucs can rally to force longer third downs, the pressure shifts to Young to make tougher throws. The linebackers are also key in limiting Rico Dowdle, needing to close out the holes and limit his traction. This is where David comes in. He appeared on the injury report of a knee injury, and if he continues to ramp up the practice suits up, which he will, he's going to play a critical role in limiting Dowdle. Tampa's the 10th best run defense in the NFL, and David leads the Bucs in tackles with 95. Instincts are the key for him, and he will play a pivotal role in fitting up Dowdle in hole and pursuit to the edge if he bounces outside. Dowdle leads the Panthers in rushing yards with 978, ninth in the NFL, and in rushing touchdowns with 6. He's effective at locating linebackers who dictate cutback lanes and smoothly transition from eluding defenders to finishing, falling forward for additional yardage. And he utilized his vision to designate when to turn upfield, and forcing the Panthers to become one-dimensional will be a focus for Tampa Bay. And don't forget about Yaya Diaby, who leads the Bucs with 6 sacks and is one of 7 players with 15-plus sacks, 30-plus tackles for loss, and 3-plus fumble recovery since 2023. He ranks 9th in highest pressure rate at 16% in 2025 with a minimum of 300 pass rush snaps according to Next Gen Stats, and he'll be tasked with generating pressure on Young. The Bucs were not able to speed up Kirk Cousins' process in the pocket on Thursday Night Football last week, and the unit will strive for redemption this week with the division on the line. Diaby combines immense power with lateral burst. He has short area acceleration with a lethal punch at the point of attack and will aim to disrupt in the trenches today. And we also have to look at red zone execution. Scoring opportunities are going to be at a premium, making red zone efficiency a huge factor. The Bucs will have to prioritize finishing drives with touchdowns instead of settling for field goals. Carolina has struggled at times defending short field situations, and the Bucs defense have to capitalize on making them earn every point. Tampa struggled all season long, whether it be poor play calling, poor execution, or costly penalties in the red zone. While Chase McLaughlin has been very reliable throughout the season, field goals don't win you games, especially against divisional opponents hungry to taste the playoffs. As to lead the way, offensive line play has to be key. Derrick Brown suffered a season-ending injury in Week 1 last season, but he's back in peak form. He started every game this season for the Panthers with 49 tackles, a team-high 4 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, and a forced fumble. His quickness off the snap allows Brown to clog run lanes as an effective anchor against double teams. He can move up and down the line of scrimmage and has a powerful punch. A slew of injuries along the Bucs O-line, including those that landed guards Cody Mauch and Ben Bredeson on the IR, thrust Dan Feeney in at right guard. He started the last 7 games for Tampa Bay and has been flagged just once this season. He's been credited with allowing 3 sacks and has helped spur runs at the second level. Feeney plays with good awareness against twists and stunts and plays light on his feet. Now we go to the Panthers for their keys. All of the Bucs' recent losses have featured big gains from the opposing quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins racked up 373 passing yards against Tampa Bay last week on Thursday night. Tyler Shuck didn't generate as much yards through the air in wet conditions the week before, but he ran for 55 yards and 2 touchdowns. Matthew Stafford and Josh Allen put up monster stat lines in the weeks prior, while running up the score on Tampa. Even Jacoby Brissett put up 300 yards in a losing effort. Young has only had 1 truly prolific passing day this season. If there's a time to get his second and prolific passing day, this is it. The Bucs defense hasn't been able to slow down any opposing quarterback, and if Young really is that guy, he's got to have a good day against this team while playing at home. They have to also plan for Vita Vea, who is a game wrecker. Ragdolling offensive linemen is a problem both in the run game and on the pass game. The Panthers' O-line has held up well despite a lot of injuries, but Vea is going to be one of the toughest tests of the season. They should be able to devote extra attention to him, as he and Yaya Diaby are the only really imposing players along the front. The Panthers need to key on Vea and have a plan to keep him occupied on every play. Having a plan for the blitz is important too. Todd Bowles is notorious for aggressive defenses built around blitzing. He stayed true to that this season. The Buccaneers blitz on 31% of opposing dropbacks, 6th most in the NFL. Young has been super inconsistent dealing with blitzes over the course of his career. He's had more good moments lately, such as a perfect performance against the Rams, but that was 1 week after one of the worst performances against blitzes the league has seen this season. Bowles can draw some exotic pressures as seen by the fact that 16 different Bucs have been credited for at least half a sack this season, including 2 corners and 2 safeties. Dave Canales and Brad Idzik need to have quick outlets built into the passing attack, and Young needs to be ready to check into those outlets when pressure comes. Against the Saints, Young had a propensity to hold onto the ball and bail out into space when faced with pressure. And that's not going to be easy to do against a Bucs team that's going to have a lot of bodies coming after him. Defensively, they have to key in on Mike Evans. And this is for good reason. He's logged in 118 catches for 1,695 yards and 14 touchdowns against the Panthers in 21 career games. Panthers fans have been dealing with him twice this season since 2013. He returned from injury this past week with 6 catches for 132 yards in a losing effort against the Falcons. It's a prime game for him to continue his dominance over the Panthers. J.C. Horn is coming off another disappointing outing against the Saints, and the defense overall struggles to hold and contain a significantly less talented Saints team twice on the season, by the way. Horn and Mike Jackson have both had overall career years this season, so they cannot allow a bounce-back game for the Bucs passing attack. And Mike Evans is the centerpiece for this. Second is to limit Bucky Irving. The Bucs sorely missed him for the majority of the season with a variety of injuries. On the season, they are 21st in yards per rush and 21st in yards per game. They definitely lean heavy on the passing game, but not having Irving for 7 of their games certainly impacted that. He's a dual threat and can hurt this team both as a rusher and as a receiver. With Baker Mayfield's up and down play, a good stabilizer will be leaning on him, Rachaad White, and Sean Tucker to safely move the ball down the field and keep Mayfield from taking too many hits or throwing risky passes. The Bucs could funnel the game through their rushing attack, and if the offense can't put up points more often than not, it's going to be a long day for this defense. And finally, is to force turnovers. The Panthers' defense thrives on playing bend but don't break defense and forcing opposing teams into making mistakes. That worked against the Rams, Cowboys, and Packers, all games they likely should have lost. But in both Saints games, they didn't force any turnovers and lost the war of attrition. This defense steals games they shouldn't win by making big plays on defense to take away possessions from other offenses. They have to do this against the Bucs offense that knows it is running out of time to lock down the division. Hammering at the ball every chance they get will be the most likely to force these turnovers. Now we go over to the starting lines. We begin with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Under center is Baker Mayfield, who is 4-0 ever since getting cut by the Panthers against them. At running back Bucky Irving, the outside receivers are Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka. At the slot is Chris Godwin. The tight end is Cade Otton. On the offensive line is Tristan Wirfs, Mike Jordan, Graham Barton, Dan Feeney, and Luke Gedeke. On defense, the interior linemen are Logan Hall and Vita Vea. The outside edge rushers are Hassan Reddick and Yaya Diaby. Inside linebackers are Levante David and Serosia Dennis. Outside corners are Kendall Vildor and Jamel Dean. The slot corner is Jacob Parrish. And the safeties are Tyke Smith and Antoine Winfield Jr. The kickers Chase McLaughlin to start off special teams. Punters Riley Dixon. Long snappers Evan Deckers. And the return men are Cameron Johnson and Sean Tucker. Now for the Panthers. The offense led by Bryce Young under center. The running back is Rico Dowdle. Outside receivers are Tet McMillan and Xavier Legette. The slot receiver is Jalen Coker. Tight end is Tommy Tremble. The offensive linemen are Yash Nijman, who is filling in for the injured Ikem Ekwonu, Damian Lewis, Cade Mays, Austin Corbett, and Taylor Moton. On defense, it begins with Derek Brown and Ashawn Robinson as the interior linemen. The edge rushers are Nick Scourton and DJ Wonham. The inside linebackers are Quaden Cherylus, filling in for the injured Traven Wallace, and next to him is Christian Roseboom. Outside corners are Mike Jackson and J.C. Horn. The slot corners Chow Smith-Wade. And the safeties are Trayvon Merrick and Nick Scott. On special teams, Ryan Fitzgerald is the kicker, Sam Martin the punter, J.J. Jansen, the longest tenured player of any team in the NFL, is the long snapper. He's also the last remaining player from either roster from Super Bowl 50. The return men are Trevor Etienne and Chuba Hubbard. So we're almost getting ready to go here at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. As we go through the inactives, Connor Bazelak is the emergency third quarterback for the Buccaneers. Inactive for Tampa Bay are Sterling Shepard, Devin Culp, Elijah Klein, Elijah Simmons, Anthony Walker Jr., and Rashad Wisdom, who are all healthy scratches. The inactives for the Panthers are Hunter Renfrow, James Mitchell, Jared Harrison Hunt, and Damani Richardson, 2 healthy scratches. Out with injury are Tershawn Wharton with a hamstring injury, Trayvon Wallace with a shoulder injury, and Ikem Ekwonu with a knee injury. Those are your inactives here. David Moore was not activated off of the IR for the Panthers, even though he's designated for return. He is still recovering from an elbow injury he suffered earlier in the season. Josh Williams, on the other hand, for Tampa Bay, is serving his final game of his 6-game suspension. He running back for them, 5'9", 210 pounds. That's for a violation of performance-enhancing drugs policy. Kalijah Kancey tore his pectoral at the beginning of the season, but he could return for the playoffs on a reassessment. So, now, the playoffs on the line makes all the storylines a lot more interesting. Another game with playoff implications in the NFL today. That'll come at the 4 o'clock games, being the Denver Broncos and the Jacksonville Jaguars, 12-2 and 10-4, as they're at Empower Field at Mile High. The New England Patriots can clinch a playoff spot with a win. The Baltimore Ravens are fighting for their playoff lives at M&T Bank Stadium. Despite the Patriots being 11-3, the Ravens are a 3-point favorite. Most bizarrely of all. Tampa Bay is a 3-point favorite on today's game. And we're here at Charlotte, getting set here. A spot for the top spot in the fight for the top spot in the NFC South. Of course, the revenge factor for Baker Mayfield. Of course, he knows that he'll always remember that Carolina caught him in December 2022. Was picked up by the Los Angeles Rams, got another chance at reviving his career, and to let him a spot with the Bucs. It'd be Dave Canales or Liam Cohen as the offensive coordinator. It's been a ride to success. Both teams are 2-2 in the NFC South this season. Both of Carolina's losses coming against the Saints, and both of their wins coming against the Falcons. The only 2 divisional games left are against Tampa this week and Week 18. Such is the case for the both of them. This is the fight for the NFC South. The Bucs believe that Mayfield always is juiced up to play Carolina. Maybe too much so. Dave Canales, in his second year as the Panthers head coach, who was the offensive coordinator for Tampa Bay in 2023, where they made the playoffs, winning the division and defeating the Philadelphia Eagles, at that time the reigning NFC representative in the Super Bowl. Bucs won the toss, still deferred to the second half, and here we go as McLaughlin kicks it away. Let's get rocking and rolling. The Panthers will begin this drive at the 35. And we get a chance to see Bryce Young here under center. And it's been a cardiac year for the Panthers. This is Tampa Bay's 50th season as a franchise. And they know what to expect from their guys. Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, everybody. The bizarre thing is that they got worse when getting healthier. Young all has career highs in completion percentage, yards per game, and passing touchdowns this season. 63%, 192, and 19. Which by everyone else's standards is But Carolina believes that he's the guy. As Rico Dowdle motions right, and it comes back to his right. As this will be a passing play to begin the game. Young misfires and incomplete. McMillan there. Coverage from Dean. He's going to be a free agent this upcoming offseason, as Austin Corbett is the right guard. Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Panthers. Ted McMillan, the rookie receiver, playing like he's a number 1 option for the Panthers. If you remember, Nijman is filling in for the injured Ikem Ekwonu at left tackle. Second down, moving left and then back right is Jatavion Sanders. playing against the slot receiver. Young, well protected, dumps this off over to Dowdle. He only gets about 3 yards. Lavonte David there instantly. So as to limit him to just 3 yards. Elijah Roberts filling in for the injured Elijah Cansey on the defensive line. Jason Pierre-Paul and Adam Gotsis were called up for the practice squad from Tampa Bay in the wake of it all. Jacob Parrish starting as an outside corner over Kendall Vildor. Here is 3rd and 7. Motion right was Sanders back to his normal tight end spot to the left of Nijman. Shotgun set with 3 receivers to the right. Here is Young. With Reddick coming towards the inside. Pass caught. 1st down. And that is McMillan, the rookie receiver for the Panthers, as he is turning things on. The rookie out of Arizona. A native of Waimanalo, Hawaii. Gets open right in space. Fakes the move towards the inside. And then goes towards the outside, beating out Antoine Winfield Jr. Winfield tried to jump it, trying to get a hand onto it, but the pass was placed perfectly by Young, well over Winfield. That was a slightly high pass, but perfect. Here's an end-around play. And here is a 1st down from Jimmy Horn. Horn to the 25. What a run! Right into Tampa Bay territory. Another rookie receiver. This one from Colorado. Both rookies lined up at the left side opposite Jamel Dean. And this was an end-around play with Horn. And a perfect block from Tommy Tremble to set that lane up on the outside right. Right on Benjamin Morrison, another rookie. As we speak of rookies, it's just been a recurring theme in this game, in this NFC South battle. 1st down at the Buccaneer 26. Motion man to the right. Run up the middle for Dowdle. And here he goes. Here's another 1st down. 12 yards for Rico. Everybody's getting involved early, and this time it's the 2 tight ends to the right of Taylor Moton, who move towards the inside. Mitchell Evans and Tommy Tremble to set up the blocking lane to get Dowdle up and going. He's been electric in Carolina blue, right for the map at the middle end. Everybody in this, everyone eats offense on Carolina. It's another 1st down. They're now at the Buccaneer 14, more like the 13.5-yard lines. Horn motions left. Young now throwing. Under pressure, escapes 2 guys. Trying to throw it, and he does throw it away. Shallow of Tet McMillan. There was a receiver in the area. And it's 2nd down. Young was outside the pocket. Good pressure from Hassan Reddick on the right to shed off of Moton. Young escapes Diaby and Villa, the 2 guys that we mentioned about the 2 most consistent players that can generate pressure for the Buccaneers. And even though Young escapes, good job by the Buccaneers on generating that pressure. It is 2nd and 10. The 2 receivers towards the left. The opening drive offense has had 6 touchdowns this season, tied for 3rd in the NFL. Here's a run to the right for Dowdle. Dowdle, he goes down as he stumbles. Would have possibly had a touchdown with that block right in front. Instead, it's 3rd down. Lavonte David was there for the stop. And Vita Vea is a big play disruptor. In either play, he turned what could have been a touchdown into a 3rd and 3, limiting him to 7. Vea comes off the field for this play. And the big man, number 50, the nose tackle, being one of the best in the league. Trips left, 1 right. The tight end is Jatavion Sanders. Pitch to Hubbard. Hubbard swallowed up. Nothing for him. Loss of 2. So no Vita Vea on this play for Tampa Bay. No problem. It's the Buccaneer defense that comes up huge. They'll force a field goal from Ryan Fitzgerald, the rookie kicker out of Florida State. So he's going to be out there to put Carolina on the board. He is 20 of 24 this season. His career long is 57. This is from 27 from the left hash. Carolina wearing the black and blue helmets today. And for 27, this is good. The first points belong to the Panthers. Next, we'll see what Baker Mayfield and company can do on the other side. The Panthers up 3-0 early, but 4.5 minutes in. I am Alec Nava. We'll return. It is 64 degrees Fahrenheit here at Bank of America Stadium. It is overcast as well, and the winds are at 8 miles an hour. 3-0 Panthers here early on in this contest, and Vita Vea is feeling some discomfort on his right arm. So the medical staff is looking at it as of right now. See how this goes. As Fitzgerald is getting ready to kick off. To Tampa Bay, we'll see Baker Mayfield for the first time. From his own 35, he sends this. Boots it as far as he could, but this will be returned for the 10. A shallow field position for Cameron Johnson to return here. And to the outside, gets good field position. Near the 50. Excellent return for Johnson as he sets up the Buccaneers in ample enough field position to get something deep. Baker Mayfield wanting to come back like a man possessed. He is 4-0 with the Buccaneers ever since getting cut by the Panthers against the Panthers. He is 5-0 against Carolina in his career as well. And we have an injured Panther as well. So on that 37-yard return from Johnson, and around the 47-yard line, you get a good number on that. And that looks like it's Trevor Etienne. No, it's not Trevor Etienne. That was Robert Rochelle, who was part of the special teams. Back-to-back division losses for the Buccaneers have plagued them big time. And now they see their NFC South title chances in danger, up against Carolina. Tampa Bay starts at their own 47 after the 37-yard return from Johnson. And the Bucs want to keep their own streak alive of consecutive division titles alive. They have won 4 consecutive. And a win at Carolina can help them Bucky Irving is the running back in single back set. Motioning left is Egbuka. Here's Irving. Past midfield and gets 6 yards near the 45.5-yard line on this run. And we know about Tristan Wirfs being the leader of this offensive line. Got to have everyone else step up because both starting guards have landed on the IR. Ben Bredesen and Cody Mauch. Irving once again the running back. And once again his single back. 2nd and 4. 2 tight ends on this play. Cade Otton and Payne Durham. Stepping up is J.C. Horn. Right in front as Durham motions left. They go back to Irving. And he gets a first down. 2 runs. Productive gains. He is down at the 41. And this secondary has faced some question marks. So remember, Tershawn Wharton is out among the defensive line, so Bobby Brown deferred fills in his place. Trayvon Wallace is out. Quaden Chirilis fills in his place. Do you remember that the secondary with the play call being Ejiro Evero having to step up big time against this fierce opponent, even though Mike Jackson and J.C. Horn have had career years. Again, it's Bucky Irving. This time, the Panthers were ready for it up the middle. Chirilis was there to limit him to 1. So was Wonham. You may not want to coach a running back where he should run, but you may want to coach the offensive line to open up holes for the running back to run through. You remember, Irving has missed 7 games due to injury. He has scored just 1 touchdown this season, average 3.5 yards per carry. Odd motions towards the right, two left and 2 right, shotgun set. Mayfield will throw for the first time. Throw to middle, caught. It's a first down, Mike Evans. To the 27. His first game back, it was a celebration of his return up until the game-winning field goal. Because of the stack formation, J.C. Horn drew Chris Godwin on the matchup, and Mike Evans forces his better matchup up against Chow Smith-Wade, the slot corner. And now off to a good start is Evans, as Durham motions around left, then right. Now in motion is Otton all the way to the left. The give to Irving. Slammed down right on cue. Derek Brown seals off the lane in a hurry. And it's a second straight run of 1 yard for Irving in as many gives to him. Brown is one of the biggest players and strongest players on the Panthers. That time he showcased it, shedding off the block from Jordan to bring down Irving to run up the middle on that attempt. And it's such a huge difference having him fully healthy for an entire season after he suffered a season-ending injury in the opening week of last year. 2nd and 9, 2 left and 3 right. Bucky Irving on near sideline. The screen pass is blown up for Godwin. Nick Scourton, the rookie, blew up that play right on cue. One of the best pass rushers on the team out of Texas A&M decided not to rush Mayfield. He dropped out in coverage. And even though the Buccaneers thought that he was going to rush the passer, instead, he goes to Godwin and blows the play up. No gain here, 3rd and 9. The Bucs have had a 39% third down conversion rate, 16th in the NFL. Here they're at the 26. They need to get to the 17. And here is Godwin. Or rather McMillan, he jumps up for the first down. Mayfield avoids the pressure and elevates it above DJ Wardham, and McMillan didn't have the quickest catch, but he bobbled this one to himself. He got it under control just in time, avoiding Mike Jackson, who wanted to strip him loose, but a block ended those plans. It's a first down. McMillan is on the sidelines. Now you have the third running back, Sean Tucker, in the game, single back, in a bunch formation. Are they going to go for it all here? Oh, you got to get it off now. They may have gotten away with delay of game, as here's Tucker on the pitch outside left. Gets 3 yards. And Mike Evans fully healthy. You got him, Chris Godwin, and Emeka Egbuka all on the field. For a rare sight, Godwin returned week 12. Irving returned week 13. And McMillan returning 2 weeks last week at the same time as Evans. With all of them healthy, you figure that they would get better. But that has simply not been the case. 5 rushes, 3 passes on this drive as Irving motions right and then back to Mayfield's right. Bucky Irving gets the handoff. First down, he's thinking touchdown, and he is stopped by Roseboom. Nonetheless, his first and goal at the 1 yard line. Rashad White was also out there in motion to the right. It's an inside zone trap concept by the Buccaneers. And both linebackers missed out. Irving forced those misses. And this defensive line got faked out. 5 rushes, 25 yards for Bucky. Wanting to cap it off with 6 points. It is first and goal at the 1 yard line. Look for Mike Evans on the outside. Mayfield throws to him and finds him. Touchdown. One-on-one coverage against Mike Evans. That's a matchup you do not want to see. Mr. Consistency wins the matchup easily against Mike Jackson. For the easy touchdown, he uses his size to his advantage and jumps up for a 6'5". Of course, that's the advantage that he has over corners that are smaller than him. Out is Chase McLaughlin. Looking to get this extra point. It is up and good. And Tampa Bay is up 7-3 with 4:01 to go in the first quarter. Mike Evans, one of the most reliable receivers of his time. 6'5", 231. 12th year out of Texas A&M. No doubter. We'll be back. Mayfield, one of the better trash talkers in the NFL. Of course, a touchdown pass wanting to get something up. Mike Evans being on the receiving end again. And Evans has seen for it all with the Buccaneers, with many different quarterbacks. Jameis Winston, Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield being the most notable. The 1,709 receiving yards and 15 touchdowns are all the most against any opponent that he's ever had. And he loves to punish the Panthers on the opportunity in which he faces them. This is no different. McLaughlin kicks off. And this is not going to be returned. So this will come to the 35-yard line. Haven't had a chance to introduce our officials. Sean Smith is our referee. Trey Blake, the umpire. Jay Bilbo, the down judge. Jeff Seaman, the line judge. Dairo Prolu is the field judge. Boris Cheek, the side judge. Dino Paganelli, the back judge. Replay official is Mike Wimmer. Larry Hill Jr. is the replay assistant. So Bryce Young and company, not too shabby on the opening drive, but they wish that they ended off with 6 instead of 3. But a good stop by Vita Vea on second down on Rico Dowd to prevent him from getting through. Say go back with Dowd as the running back. He'll get it. Straight ahead. 1 or 2 yards. So as we take a look around the NFL, bunch of 7-0s and 7-7s. 7-7 between Buffalo and Cleveland. We can say that this could be a trap game for the Bills. Chargers and Cowboys tied at 7. Bengals 7, Dolphins nothing. 3-3 Jets and Saints. Vikings 3, Giants nothing. And then we have this one. 2nd and 9 as they ruled it 1 yard on Dowdle. Young throwing middle. Short pass caught at the 40-yard line for 4 yards by Mitchell Evans. Third tight end behind Tommy Tremble and Jatavion Sanders. So it's 3rd and 5 now. He came out throwing. It's 3rd and 4 rather. Got 5 as they said. They will want to get the first down now and do it rather quickly. The quick passes have been the staple of this offense. So far, 5 eye rushes, 5 passes. Corner blitzes, keep an eye out on them. If there's going to be any of them. It'll not be. Here's Chuba Hubbard who gets the first down at midfield. 10 yards on 3rd and 5. So it was more of 3rd and 4.5 rather. And Hubbard on the shotgun. It was a squeeze on the left side from Yaya Diaby who almost got to Young. This was a read option play. An excellent execution by the Panthers as Hubbard squeezed the hole on the read option on the left side. Strong eye set and Young falls down, gets back up, wrapped up by Dennis. He tripped on his own feet and fell down. A play that had sparked disaster from the very start. He falls down on his foot, right on his own feet, and he could not get away from Servosia Dennis. He did hold on to that ball well enough to avoid any further damage. So instead of it being a lost fumble, it is 2nd and 18. But it's good ball protection nonetheless. Empty set with 3 right and 2 left. The Bucs trying to show blitz. They wait. Instead they rush 4. Young. The ball's deflected at the line. Shy of Dowdle. It's been a roller coaster of a season for the Panthers, in which they won at New York against the Jets, lost to the Bills, beat the Packers, lost to the Saints, beat the Falcons, lost to the 49ers, beat the Rams, and then lost to the Saints. They're trying to make the playoffs for the first time since 2017 when they made it as a wild card, where they went up against Drew Brees and the Saints. 3rd and 18 right after that incomplete pass on that tip. Bucs show blitz, they fake it. Young. Diaby came up to him, and Young gets it up on time towards the right. And high-stepping or hurdling over Morrison was Sanders, but doesn't do anything more. It'll be a punt for the Panthers after that first down run from Chuba Hubbard. Jatavion Sanders went up and over Benjamin Morrison. Jacob Parrish had said, enough's enough. We don't want any more hurdling around here. Those are two rookies, by the way. Parrish from Kansas State and Morrison from Notre Dame. First punt this day, and it's from Sam Martin, the former Detroit Lion. The Bucs were late coming to the line, and we have a flag, so we'll get our first call from Sean Smith. And we mentioned about penalties. Thomas Incoom is the one flagged here. So it'll push the Panthers back 5 more yards. Still, it's Martin to punt either way. But that play on first down on that drive doomed the Panthers. That sack. Fair catch called here. There are more flags out. And back at the 10 is Johnson for that fair catch call. 21 seconds left. And we're wondering what the penalty is. We'll see from Smith. That would have been enough for the first down. It would not have been enough for the first down, but nonetheless, we're going to step away for the moment. When we come back, it's 21 seconds left in the first. 7-3 Buccaneers. The Falcons beat the Buccaneers 29-28 last week. After the Buccaneers led that game, the Panthers led 17-7, but the Saints scored 13 unanswered points to beat them last week as well. In games decided by 3 points or fewer, the Bucs and Panthers are 5-1 each, but both had losses last week. And the only 2 losses in games decided by 3 points or less between these two. Jalen McMillan motions left as everybody gets set on single back. Handoff up the middle. And it's Bucky Irving again. Gets 3, maybe 4. He's been a huge workhorse for Tampa Bay. That's the 6th carry of this game. That's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Baker Mayfield with his touchdown throw to Mike Evans being the difference here. Second quarter is up next. Todd Bowles was irate after last week's Thursday night loss to the Falcons, looking for some better effort this week against the Panthers. First play the second quarter is a run to Bucky Irving as he gets upended. Who knows if that's a first down or not? Could go 6, maybe 7. They'll have to check the spot. They're going to roll him half a yard short. Mayfield trying to rush everyone to the line to try to catch the Panthers on a change on 3rd and 1. And here is Irving again. Did he get it? That looks even closer than the second down run. Trayvon Merrick got up and stepped up. I don't know. I might have to take a second look at this one. It was a shotgun run, and Merrick wrapped him up. You need a couple inches to get that first down. I don't know if there's a good, I don't know if we have a good enough angle for that, but nonetheless, there's an injured Panther on the field either way. And I know that the ability to block the blitz is something that Tampa Bay has had concerns with throughout the season. And we're going to step away again as Carolina tends to their injured man. We'll step away. That is the rookie from Florida, Cam Jackson, getting helped up and walking off with some assistance to the Panthers sideline. They did rule it a first down in the end. Single back and motioning around is Payne Durham. Rachaad White gets the rock this time, and he breaks free from several tackles. And on a rundown past midfield, forced out at the Panther 40 by J.C. Horn. Rachaad White getting involved in its explosive rushing attack early in the second. Sees the hole to the inside and runs through it. A heavy gap set up by, I believe, Luke Gedeke, and there'll be more yardage added to it. Ashawn Robinson, flag for illegal use of hands to the face. Tristan Wirfs, who had got the hands up to the face from Robinson. With that cut from Rachaad White to get up and moving. He came in this season as the team's leading rusher as the RB2, and He filled in nicely in the time that Bucky Irving missed. Pistol set this time. And motioning right is Godwin. White gets the rock. And this time he's wrapped up in kind stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Bobby Brown ready and prepared for that run. And if we are talking about injuries, Anthony Nelson, questionable to return with a knee injury. Robert Rochelle, questionable with an ankle injury. He both left the game earlier. Since Nelson is in Tampa's locker room, Rochelle in Carolina's locker room. Here's a shotgun set. Mayfield with 3 guys to the left. But now motioning to his tight end spot right is Otten. So 2 left and 2 right. Shotgun set. White is the running back. Panthers bringing the heat. On second down, wide open is Godwin. Forced out by Merrick. Right around the 30-yard line. And it will be third down. Mayfield is yet to throw an incompletion so far today. It is 3rd and 4. But this offensive line has held up nicely here throughout this game. Dan Feeney has held up his own at right guard. Looking for the injured Cody Mauch. Motioning right is Godwin again. The Bucs are 2 for 2 on 3rd down so far today. Carolina could use a stop. Tampa Bay could continue rolling here. Here is Baker Mayfield to the right side. Broken up. Mike Jackson with a well-timed defensive play. Right on the flat route between Evans and Godwin as Jackson went up one-on-one with Evans. He went up, got the fingertips on him, preventing Evans from making any play onto the ball and holding the Bucs to a field goal. Jackson leads the team in passes broken up this season. And here's McLaughlin. Career-long 65 yards. This is 48 yards to the left hash. And this kick, he squeezes it through. He nails it, but there's a flag. We have to check it out. And speaking of Jackson, we talk about the number of passes broken up. That's his 15th on the season. A career high for him. 3 interceptions. Second on the team behind J.C. Horn. Sean Smith, our referee, in a conference with his crew. Trey Blake, the umpire. And we're still trying to figure out what this penalty is. Dave Canales says that the Panthers need to take on the mentality of this being a playoff type game. This discussion is going on for a while. And the fans are getting impatient here. You could hear the communication between all the referees. They're giving the fans a test of the patience here. You just don't want a penalty called so late. So now the field goal is erased and the Bucs drive continues. It is a personal foul for unnecessary roughness as Robinson ran right into the long snapper Evan Deckers. A squeeze between them is what caused this penalty. So wipe off the field goal. It's a free first down. That's contact to the head or neck area of Deckers. And so the Bucs will get a first down at the Panther 15. Here is Rachaad White towards the left. And he is plowed down 3 yards past the line. So to see what this penalty, that was head or neck as his knee, as he was running and his knee made contact with the long snapper Deckers alongside the left guard Feeney. That's unfortunate because Robinson was put in a very tough position in which he got squeezed in between the two. And he got trapped there. The Bucs have a 54% red zone touchdown percentage, 23rd in the league, and has a spike getting the opening drive touchdown throw to Evans from Mayfield. Bucky Irving this time on the run. Plowed down at the 10. Cherilus, the stop, 2 yards. And it'll be 3rd and 5. 10 yards for a touchdown, 5 for a first down as Irving subs out the field. See what Ejiro Evero dials up on 3rd and 4 as they rule it in this game so far. Evero is the defensive coordinator. Line of scrimmage is the 10-yard line, so it's 3rd and 5. This drive's still going. On shotgun, Egbuka motions towards the slot left side. Evans in isolation at the right. Look out for him. Here's Mayfield throwing left. Caught for the first down by Godwin for 6 yards. So good in the slot. And he's been money. Chris Godwin at the slot and in the outside. A wide open space. 1st and goal. This is a single back set. Bucks trying to exhaust the Panther defense here, and White plowed down Nick Scourton. Nick Scourton, rather. The rookie out of Texas A&M with some big plays throughout the season, and he won the run stuff here on the outside right. Scourton shoves away Cade Otton, gets him out the way. He assists on that tackle as well. From another defender, it is 2nd and goal. 7 rushes, 3 passes in this drive, just 1 yard. Payne Durham motions left. This time Sean Tucker dodges the first tackle, gets to the 2. Christian Roseboom to stop. And Roseboom, who leads the team in tackles with 97 entering today, gets another. It is 3rd and goal from the 2. Watch out for man-to-man coverage against Mike Evans. Do they double him up? What does Josh Grizzard dial up? First-year offensive coordinator on the Bucks. After Liam Cohen left to take the head coaching job with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now you got Vita Vea in as a fullback for the Buccaneers. Here on display, an extra offensive lineman here. Here is Tucker. First lane is clogged up. He reverses direction. Tucker trying to get the edge. Cannot! J.C. Horn followed him like a shadow. It's a tackle for losses at 4th and goal at the 5. A great job by Baker Mayfield. He tried to direct traffic on the right side, setting up the block. But not an even better job by Horn to shed said block and track down Tucker and prevent him from getting a walk-in touchdown. And instead, it's going to be a field goal from McLaughlin. But instead of it being from 21 yards, it's going to be from 23 at the right hash. And, oh boy, he barely squeezed that one in. Right through the left upright. It's 10-3 Tampa Bay. And that looked like a little auspicious kick. But nice job by J.C. Horn to shut down the Buccaneers in the red zone here. 10-3. And the trash talking continues from Baker Mayfield. As opposed to being loud on the field on those last two sequences, Baker Mayfield silently reviewing tape on the iPad or the Microsoft Surface tablet on the sidelines. Room to improve here as the game goes on for Tampa Bay. Carolina 4-2 at home this season, wanting to take this one here. Kick is off from McLaughlin, and this will be knelt at the end zone. So the Buccaneers, the Buccaneers have been sailing through rough seas to start the season. 6-2 to start the year, but after the Week 9 bye, they have lost 5 of 6. But if they can clinch the NFC South with wins in 2 of their last 3 games to hold off the Carolina Panthers, the best scenario for them is 10-7. They went out. That would clinch them the NFC South. Bryce Young in a rebound drive here. It's mostly on the way left, and the slot is Jalen Coker. Chuba Hubbard is the running back here. Young to throw. Jason Pierre-Paul thrown down by Nijman. A lot of time. And getting away with the first tackle is Evans. Evans to the 42. And he is a little slow to get up. For the Panthers to clinch the NFC South, they have to win both games against the Buccaneers. The Panthers can also split with the Bucs so long as they get a Week 17 win against the Seahawks combined with a Week 17 loss from the Buccaneers. They said 8 yards from Evans, 2nd and 2.5, so it's 7.5 yards. JPP activated off the practice squad alongside Gotsis. Young towards the middle, wide open and popped out. Xavier Legette could not hang on to the ball the entire way. And a beautiful throw from Bryce Young gone to the wayside here on 2nd and 2. Ooh, that was rough. And man, as we get you on board here, Ian, you know the season's coming down to the wire. And it's one of those years where the season, it can be best described as wide open window for anyone to win it.
Oh, is he doing it?
Yeah, he's doing a thing.
Are you doing it?
Yeah. Hey, Alec. Yeah. And at this point, I'm just rooting for chaos in draft position. Currently, for my Chiefs to get the best possible outcome, I need the Dolphins, the Vikings to win, and the Saints to win, and for the Chiefs to lose. Currently, not all those things are going according to plan. But I want the Panthers to win this game.
For sheer unhinged chaos. That's what we've named this space.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know that last pass was incomplete, but perhaps another chance at redemption here for Carolina should they shut down the Buccaneers on the next drive. A line drive kick, and Cameron Johnson gets away for the first tackle. Reinforcements coming afterwards, and he is down to 22. So now that we're at the break, it is I know it's a rare score, but a 2-0 Titans lead at Nissan Stadium. You see that more baseball and hockey.
Yes.
Oh. And speak of the Bengals and Dolphins, yes, the Bengals, they got back T. Higgins, and it does help. But opposing teams, I don't know if this is a real stat, but hold on a second. I read something about them. Let's see. Yeah, I lost us the stat, but well, given that Quinn Ewers is starting for the Dolphins, and we saw the benching of Tua Tagovailoa, there is the feeling that this could be screaming trap game for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Oh. And now, Buffalo and Cleveland speak of trap games all throughout, this may be another trap game that the Bills are up against, going up against Shedeur Sanders and company. They're up 13-10, but this is one of those games where it's going to be more uncomfortable for the Bills than it truly is. Because no narrative about Myles Garrett and possibly setting the sack record. But up against Josh Allen, that's going to be difficult.
That is going to be difficult. But hey, last night gave us one of the season's best games.
Yep. Last night, one of the best games of the season since the Seahawks comeback. It's just about every week we have a game of the year contender, but Seahawks Rams might as well has overtaken Bills Ravens from week 1.
Yeah.
Oh, now we're back here in Charlotte, but I gotta say, the Packers they're having their season slip away from them by measures both in and out of their control. It's the Buccaneers starting from the 21-yard line in a pistol set. Here's another handoff to Bucky Irving, who's getting a lot of action here in this first half, and this time he gets 1 yard. LaBryan Ray with the stop. The first 2 possessions for the Bucs have ended in a touchdown and a field goal. This time the Panthers need to step up on defense, and it's been a very cardiac year for the Panthers. They've been the definition of chaos. How do they keep winning? Well, they don't operate by any such logic at all. They just keep winning. And most of the time, it's by means of them being an underdog. It's a 2nd and 9. Shotgun this time instead of pistol. 2 left and 2 right. Not a bunch set, but it's more of a jumbo set. Here is Baker. Swing it out for Irving. Wrapped up with an advancement. And he is down around the 27. There is a flag down. We'll check the penalty. I think this is going to come back. And yes, it is. They'll replay 2nd down. It is a half the distance to the penalty. It is from the 2nd-year center out of Duke, Graham Barton. Illegal blindside block as he elbowed Christian Roseboom, and we know about penalties. Elbowing penalties are common in hockey, and that time is the illegal blindside block penalty the equivalent of an elbowing penalty.
Vikings.
So instead of a 3rd and short, it is 2nd and 20 here for the Bucs. As Mayfield throws middle to Otton, who is immediately met shy of the 20, right around the 18-yard line by Chirilis, who fills in for the injured Trayvon Wallace. And so it's 3rd and long. So for the first time, the Buccaneers face of a long 3rd down situation, 3rd and 13, as they say. And we speak of touchdowns. Here's James Cook. And Buffalo's letting him cook. And the Chargers and Cowboys are in for a barn burner right now. The Cowboys have already been eliminated from playoff contention. But a Chargers loss pair of a Broncos win means the Broncos clinch the top seed in the AFC and the AFC West. Mayfield on the deep drop back, escaping pressure, running out of time. He's down. Christian Rose, boom. When you think inside linebackers with the Panthers, immediately you think Luke Kuechly. Roseboom is the team's leading tackler, and he splits through an open gap while everyone else on the offensive line for the Buccaneers is focused on the defensive line. Roseboom comes in untouched, an open gap for him to run through, and he takes advantage of it. And now Riley Dixon on his first punt will kick off from his own end zone. Just got this off. with the play clock down to zeros. This will be returned from midfield, splitting the gap, and a good return. Shy at the 35 in Buccaneer territory goes Trevor Etienne, the younger brother of Travis. And with 4:25 to go in the second quarter, the Panthers are in excellent field position. We're staying here, and so far it is 17-14 Cowboys. The Broncos need the Chargers to lose in order to not only clinch the division, but also the top seed in the AFC. That means even if the Patriots win, they cannot go any higher than the 2 seed.
And wow, it just gets worse, Alec. Gardner Minshew is back in the locker room, which means we have Chris Aludicon at quarterback for the Chiefs.
Oh boy. A former Steelers draft pick, by the way.
Yeah.
Toss play, here's Rico Dowdle. And he evades several tacklers right behind the line of scrimmage and just gets back to the line. Well, can you... I mean, we already know the Chiefs are eliminated from the playoffs, but my goodness, this is nightmare scenario what's unfolding. We're just seeing basically the equivalent of Final Destination on them. And that looked very close to a face mask from Benjamin Morrison, but he didn't grab the face mask. It's 2nd 11, loss of 1, so not all is bad. Here is Bryce Young on an empty set. Throws middle, wide open. Ted McMillan, first down. Gets an extra shove from the defensive back. And the Panthers are testing the Buccaneer red zone late in the first half. On the deep inside route, as he gets the wide open space, Servosia Dennis, the linebacker, not the defensive back, with the extra shove to get McMillan extra room. Panthers at the Buccaneer 23, set up by that nice return from Trevor Etienne. McMillan, the team's leading receiver this season. And here's an inside give to Rico Dowdle, who was immediately met by Hassan Reddick. 2nd and 10. And so far, the ground game has been neutralized from both teams. And speak of injuries, Shador Sanders left the game for the Browns with an injury. So now they're having to see more of Quinshawn Judkins leading the way. And under center is Dylan Gabriel again. Dowdle with 5 carries so far here in the second quarter. On shotgun, Buck splits. Young heaves one towards the end zone. McMillan knocked away. No flag. He wanted one. Instead, it's 3rd and 10. Jacob Parrish, one of the 2 rookie defensive backs in coverage. 1-on-1 up against McMillan as he went towards the end zone, and McMillan felt that he was interfered with. And I think that should have been pass interference with the way that McMillan was covering him. Or Parrish, I meant. One rookie from Kansas State, that is Parrish. The other from Arizona, McMillan. The Panthers are 2 of 5 on 3rd down today. We'll see how they do here on an empty set. Young, throwing 1-on-1. Broken up. Morrison this time. So both rookie corners breaking up passes intended for McMillan. And this time, and here it'll be a field goal try from Fitzgerald. So another red zone try, ending in 6 points, despite the good field position set up by Trevor Etienne. And this time the rookie out of Notre Dame gets the pass breakup. 41-yard attempt for Fitzgerald. And I know that we saw some college football action yesterday and the day before, as this kick is good. Just passes you right up, right from 41. So we can discuss the college football playoff in greater detail once the halftime begins. So as we're at the break, So the quarterfinal matchups are on the CFP bracket, Oregon versus Texas Tech, which is the most intriguing quarterfinal matchup. You got Oregon, a Big Ten powerhouse, up against the rising Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl. Alabama and Indiana match up with one another, the Orange Bowl at Miami Gardens, the home of the Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium. At the Rose Bowl are Alabama and Indiana, with Heisman Trophy winner Fernando Mendoza. Georgia and Ole Miss, a grudge match at Caesars Superdome in the Sugar Bowl. And in the Cotton Bowl Classic, Ohio State and Miami at AT&T Stadium at Jerry World. 2:06 left in the second quarter. And Baker Mayfield and company wanting to end the first half with some scoring here. And to get greater consistency. Panther fans wanting to see the chaos continue. If the way that the schedule works out for them, perhaps the best case scenario for the Panthers realistically is 9-8. It's a line drive kick for Fitzgerald, returned from the 10. And then past the 20 is Johnson. Runs to his own man at the 30 and tackled at the 33. And it'll take us to the 2-minute warning where Baker Mayfield and company wanted to get some revenge on the team that cut him in December 22. We'll be right back in a moment. And as we look at scores around the league, it is 14-10, Dolphins leading over the Bengals, Ian.
Yeah, good. Also, the Chiefs got a field goal, so they're up 3-2 on the Titans. By the way, this destroys every negative narrative that Mahomes ever had against him, because now people are seeing what he was winning with.
Yeah. Of course. Yep. Because no Mahomes. Oh boy, this Chiefs team is hard to watch.
Yeah.
He's just, oh dear goodness. Because you take him away, my goodness. It has us wondering, why are the Titans planning on having Matt Nagy in the interview process?
Well, I don't know, but you know what? We will leave them right in Nashville. If they want them, we will leave them right in Nashville.
You know, if he does get hired by the Titans, I guess we'll the both of us here will be laughing hysterically.
Oh yeah, buddy, I will pack your bags and drive you to the airport myself. Yes! Come on, let's go Vikings!
Oh, another scorer, right?
No, but they got a pick.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I might be ahead of that, but nonetheless, we're back in this game with a Chaos Bowl. Here's a run on first down from Rachaad White, and it's 3 yards for him. Carolina, after the opening drive, has largely shut down this Buccaneer rushing attack. And that time it was a run for 3 yards to make it 2nd and 7. And yes, I was ahead. J.J. McCarthy, 12 yards, touchdown Vikings. Pistol set, and on the motion right is Cade Otton. Mayfield pumps, throws middle, and that bounced off the dirt. Low pass intended for his man, Roseboom in coverage. I believe that was Otton who he was going after. Or rather, that was Emeka Egbuka up the middle. But whatever was the case, Egbuka was not ready. And I don't think Mayfield was either. It was an early snap from Barton. That play did not look good from the start. Just a second incompletion from Mayfield in this game. He has only 41 passing yards today. 3rd and 7. The Panthers trying to shut this play down. The Bucs have to get to the Carolina 48 to get in field goal range, and it looks like this is a false start. And it is. Luke Gedeke, the right tackle, called for the false start against Tampa Bay. And Gedeke, wow, you got to be aware of when the ball is snapped. Just saying, Gedeke. Oh, now it's 3rd down and 12. Once again, it's a shotgun set. And joining the receivers to the right is Jalen McMillan, who is all on the right side. 3 right and 1 left. Of course, Mike Evans is the ever-looming presence. Several fake throws towards the right. A long flag comes in, and what a catch by Mike Evans to catch that flag. Could you count that as a reception? I don't think it will, but oh, okay. Take the. And here's a second straight penalty on Gedeke, but the Panthers declined the penalty because the pass was incomplete, and so Tampa Bay is going to punt for a second straight drive. Gedeke has the guardian cap on him, the right tackle, so it's Riley Dixon. The Buccaneers punter, he was the replacement for Johnny Hecker, right? In the year after the Rams won the Super Bowl. That didn't work out. And Dixon sends this towards the near sideline. It'll be Etienne on the return. Trevor Etienne up through the middle. And he gets to the 37-yard line on this run back. And so as you look around, it's 21-17 Chargers. Thanks to a 1-yard run up the middle from Justin Herbert. Well, and as we're in the break, speaking of the Chargers, Quentin Johnston went from dropping the easiest of passes to making one-handed catches in the end zone. That's just impressive.
I guess a young guy gets development.
You can say that. The proper development is key. Of course, you got to correct the dropping issues, and he just did in his here with the Chargers. Well, many questioned the pick, ourselves included, but development is what matters the most.
Yep. And at the 2-minute warning, the Chiefs lead the Titans 3-2.
Well, I guess I don't want to make this cliche, but I guess Bobby Witt Jr. must have batted a free run home run.
Yes, sir, he did. Yes, sir, he did. And currently the Titans are. This game might actually end in a baseball score.
Oh my goodness. Because he, oh my. Now, I have no words for her, however this goes, but baseball score, because we mentioned Bobby Witt Jr. I don't know what is the best allegory to make of Tennessee, whether I would make a Braves reference or a Reds reference, but screw it. Ronald Acuna Jr. 2-run home run.
Yeah.
Yep. does it have the best of it. So now, back here with 106, the Panthers have all 3 timeouts. The Buccaneers also have all 3 timeouts. Carolina, with 66 seconds left in the first half, they're at the 37 and 1 1/4 yard line. Motion right is Coker. Here is Young, throwing to an open man, and staying on his feet is Tech McMillan. With 1 minute left, are the Panthers going to clock it? They're in no rush. Both teams have all 3 timeouts left. They're going no huddle here with 49 seconds, 48, 47. And on shotgun, this will be a run for Rico Dowdle, who gets a first down. And immediately a timeout with 41 seconds left. Carolina was preserving those timeouts for when they get that first down. Of course, you got to clock it. It's a 17-14 lead for Cincinnati. Samaji Perine up the middle for a 4-yard touchdown. For the chances to win the NFC South, the Buccaneers' chances increase to 96% of a win. It goes down to 59% of a loss. For the Panthers, it goes up to 41% of a win. But with a loss, it goes down to 4%. And guess who Carolina faces next week?
Who do they face next week?
Seattle.
Oh, Lord.
Yep, so this game is about as must win as it gets for the Panthers here today on overcast skies. Shotgun set, 2 left and 2 right as Young lets this one go to the right side and inbounds, caught by Lee Getz. Or rather, they're going to wait this one incomplete. I thought he got both feet inbounds, so I have to check the replay. But do remember, you cannot use a challenge here in the final 2 minutes because 1 foot was out of bounds, so it is ruled incomplete even though he caught it. That's a big step out of bounds. But all of a sudden, with the healthy scratch of Keon Coleman for the Bills, it turns out the Panthers are sitting happy with Leggett with the final pick of the first round.
He's hurt.
In motion is Dowdle. 3 receivers to the right. Bryce Young finding a wide open Leggett. Cuts the edge outside. Runs this one out of bounds past the first down marker. 13 yards on the catch and carry for Leggett. He's turning things up in his second full-time season, the sophomore out of South Carolina. Cutting towards the edges. They're now at the 41-yard line. But you got to figure they have to get closer for field goal range. Young jumps up and finds Dowdle. Savosia Dennis will not let him go. And it's 3 yards and an immediate timeout from Carolina. They have 1 left. We already have 3 teams clinching a playoff spot in the NFC. The Seahawks control their own destiny for the top seed in the NFC. The Rams might have to go on the road to start the playoffs after blowing that game against the Seahawks. However, they clinched the playoff spot. The Eagles have snapped a 20-year streak of no repeat NFC East division winners and are back-to-back division winners. That's the first time since 2005 since that happened. They have a shotgun set. Trips left, 1 right. 2nd and 8. 26 seconds left, and now motioning left is Coker. Bucks send 4 after Young. Bryce Young finds a wide open Coker, trying to get the first down, and he does so at the 30. And an immediate timeout here afterwards. Who called it? Carolina. That was their final timeout. And that was in motion for Jalen Coker towards the outside. And uses everything to will his way up front. His strength to get by through both Parrish and Jamel Dean, a pending free agent this offseason. So this ball is at the Tampa Bay 30-yard line. The offense still out there, wanting to get more field position, or then to put Ryan Fitzgerald in a better spot. 7 catches 66 yards for Coker in his first 4 games, but his last 4, 15 catches for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns. Shotgun set again, 1 left and 3 right. The lone receiver to the left is Ted McMillan. Here's Bryce Young on first down. He steps up, dumps off left side for Dowdle. Has to get out of bounds, and he does. That stops the clock at 12 seconds. You got to work the sidelines now if you're Carolina, if you want to get Ryan Fitzgerald in better field position. That time, Bryce did. No timeouts left for the Cardiac Cats. I know this can't be said of any team named the Panthers that are known for upsets. Such as said with the Panthers team that made the Super Bowl with Jake Delhomme and Stephen Davis. And the 2023 Florida Panthers that made it to the Stanley Cup Final. Bucs blitz here on 2nd and 3. Young to the end zone. Touchdown! Ted McMillan! A house call for the Cardiac Cats. And with 7 seconds left, the Panthers retake the lead. One-on-one matchup on the outside with an all-out blitz from the Bucs. And that backfired for Tampa Bay. Nobody got to Bryce Young, and McMillan left untouched. Extra points good with 7 seconds left. Ryan Fitzgerald making it, and McMillan, as he fakes a run inside, a double move on Jamel Dean, creating all that space to get himself in isolation in the end zone. And Young did not hesitate to make this throw. He beat out the blitz. It's a house call all the way. And a throw downtown is exactly what was needed of this group. 13-10. Carolina leads it. The throw officially going for 22 yards to beat out that blitz. The Bucs have all 3 timeouts, but I don't imagine them doing anything on this next drive. And Emeka Egbuka, seeing that his Offensive Rookie of the Year spot in danger, seeing that McMillan is in a foot race up against Jackson Dart for Offensive Rookie of the Year. McMillan making his statement. It's a line drive kick again, and this takes a bounce to the 3-yard line where this will be returned. The Panthers well covering that. Sean Tucker being stopped at the 15. Excellent coverage from the Panthers special teams. Baker Mayfield has not had a really good half year. 7 of 10, 41 yards. Even though he has that 1 touchdown to Mike Evans. Bryce Young, on the other hand, 12 of 20, 107 yards, and that touchdown pass on the house call to Ted McMillan. And the Bucs with 2 seconds, we'd imagine they're going to kneel this clock out. And they're going to be in that formation to send this to the half. And they will. After 30 minutes, the Panthers lead it 13-10. When we come back, it'll be a recap of the first round of the college football playoff. When we return, I am Alec Nava. See you then. It's a fast start for the Bucs, but they have slowed down as of late. After getting off fast, they only got a field goal and then 2 straight punts to go with that. I'm Alec Nava, and welcome to the Halftime Report. It is 13-10, Panthers leading. Even though the Panthers have 9 first downs to the Bucs 10. Tampa Bay is 3 of 7 on third down, Carolina 2 of 6. Total yards are 154 to 117 Panthers, and Carolina is averaging 5.1 yards per play, Tampa 3.9. It's been an abysmal day for Baker Mayfield in the first half. 7 of 10 for 41 yards and a touchdown. Even though the ground game has counted for 85 rushing yards, 45 from Rachaad White, 40 from Bucky Irving. Mike Evans has the touchdown catch, but only 2 catches for 13 yards in total. As for Carolina, it is Bryce Young, 12 of 20, 107 yards for 1 touchdown. The longest run today for Carolina came from Jimmy Horn Jr. on an end around. 25 yards, that's his only carry. Rico Dowdle, 6 carries, 23 yards. Ted McMillan, 4 catches, 57 yards. And a touchdown to lead things off. Christian Roseboom, the only sack for the Panthers. The tackles for loss from him and J.C. Horns to force that field goal from Chase McLaughlin. The only sack from the Bucs from Serosia Dennis. And the tackles for loss from him, Ben Morrison, and Chris Braswell. As we go on to the college football playoff, the first game saw the Oklahoma Sooners get out in the first round by the Alabama Crimson Tide. And Oklahoma's offense had only 20 minutes. They were perfect out the gate, up 17-0 against an Alabama team that looked unprepared for the moment. But the Tide adjusted and rallied. OU had only a brief answer. Teams that led by at least 17 points are 28-2 all time at the half entering that game. Oklahoma has the 2 losses. In the first 19 minutes, Oklahoma went up 17-0, outgaining Bama by a stunning 181-12 margin. That could have been worse. The Sooners' Owen Heineke came within millimeters of a block punt that might produce a safety or a touchdown. But in the next 21 minutes after that, Bama outscored the Sooners 27-0 and outgained them 194-59. Freshman Luxier Brooks caught 2 touchdown passes, the first on a 4th and 2 to finally get Bama on the board, after catching a huge third down pass earlier in the drive, and a second on a 30-yard lob that put the Tide up for good. The Tide defense got pressure on John Mateer, and his footwork and composure completely vanished. And a pick 6 thrown directly to Xavier Brown tied it, and Bama scored the first 10 points in the second half as well. OU responded briefly with a Deion Burks touchdown, but the Sooners offense couldn't do enough, and kicker Tate Sandell missed 2 late field goal attempts to assure a Bama win. Mind you, he won the Graza Award as the best kicker. Oklahoma beat Alabama in November in a game they eventually certified the Sooners CFP bid, thanks to a pick 6 and special teams dominance. But the tables turned in Norman. Brown's pick 6 was huge, as special teams abandoned the Sooners, both with Sandell's misses and a botched punt. And that botched punt was the second of 2-part sequence that turned the game against the Sooners. Mateer passed up an easy 3rd and 3 conversion to throw downfield to wide open Xavier Robinson, but Mateer short-armed the pass and Robinson dropped it. And on the next snap, punter Grayson Miller dropped the ball while moving to his punting motion. Tim Keenan III recovered the ball at the OU 30, and though OU's defense held the Tide to a field goal, what could have been a 24-3 OU lead turned into a 17-10 advantage, setting the table for Brown's pick 6, and in everything that followed. Whenever Oklahoma's season ended, offense would be the primary reason. The Sooners survived playing with almost no margin for error for most of the year. The 49th ranking in offensive SP Plus was the worst of any CFP team. But they got enough defense and special teams, plus quality red zone play to overcome it. The defense played well, though. Bama gave only 260 total yards. But those special teams miscues put more pressure on the offense. After a brilliant start, they ran out of steam. Mateer began 10 of 15 for 132 yards with a touchdown, 26 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. But his last 31 attempts gained just 149 attempts with 5 sacks and a pick. The last 9 non-sack rushes gained just 15 yards. Brent Venables has some key decisions to make. The Sooners' offense technically improved after the big money additions of Ben Arbuckle and Mateer, the former being the offensive coordinator, but Mateer was scattershot before his midseason injury on his hand and poor after it. They had to hope They could hit the reset button on offense, not on quarterback. But can he ever get all the arrows pointing the right direction at the right time? And between A&M and Miami, it was one of the sloppiest games in CFP history, with a dramatic fourth quarter included in it. Mark Fletcher Jr. rushed 17 times for 172 yards, and his 56-yard charge with 4:01 left set up the game's only touchdown. An 11-yard jet sweep from Malachi Toney. Looked as if A&M would force overtime or score and go for two, but Bryce Fitzgerald got a second interception off a misplaced pass from Marcel Reed in the end zone, 23 seconds left. In a game that was extremely windy, the first three quarters featured more missed field goals than points. But a nice run of pass from Reed set up Randy Bond's game-tying 35-yarder. Tony's fumble near midfield 7-11 left seemed to set the Aggies up for a major opportunity, but Reuben Bain Jr. recorded his third sack of the game to force a punt that set up the heroics from Fletcher and redemption for Toney. A&M outgained Miami 326-78 and finished 6 drives in Canes territory, but Reed's turnovers ended 2 of those chances and a missed field goal ended 1. The Canes then converted some glory in this regard. 6 drives finished in A&M territory and produced only 2 scores, but 2 scores are greater than 1. Carson Beck 14-20 for 103 yards and technically a touchdown pass off the jet sweep, but he avoided crucial mistakes that ended up being a deciding factor. Reed had more yards, but those turnovers were devastating. Sometimes, if you're A&M, you peak a little too early. The Aggies moved to 9-0 in early November with demonstrative wins over LSU and Mizzou, but they underachieved against SP Plus projections by an average of 18.1 points per game in their final 4 games. So, for that, the defense had big play issues, something Fletcher took advantage of. But when you give up 10 total points, you should win every time. But a disappointing finish doesn't negate the fact that the Aggies were ahead of schedule. Starting Mike Elko's second season at 19th in the AP poll, A&M won 11 games for the first time since the Johnny Manziel-led 2012 campaign. They won 12-13 in Jimbo Fisher's last 2 years, but Elko's now 19-7. And A&M probably won't be starting a season 19th or lower for quite a while. But here's the test. Jay Bateman is allowed to leave for the same head coaching position at Kentucky. And offensive coordinator Colin Klein took the Kansas State head coaching gig. Elko have to replace some serious talent in the trenches too, led by Cassius Howell. The passing game comprises primarily of underclassmen. The pass rushing talent doesn't stop at Howell. Elko's building job is going to continue. When we come back, it'll be the second half. I'm Alec Nava. Stay tuned. those who are asking about showing the game, I cannot because if I do, I will be copyright striked. So for the point selection, it is 19 rushes and 10 passes for the Buccaneers. Bryce Young, 12 of 20 for 107 yards and a touchdown. Ted McMillan, 4 catches, 57 yards. So a good start for Young and McMillan here. In the meantime, it is 24-17 with the Chargers up on the Cowboys. Justin Herbert, 15-18, 223 yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. Quentin Johnson, 73 receiving yards on 2 catches and that one-handed touchdown grab. Lad McConkey has a touchdown catch of his own. Tuli Tuipulotu adds a sack to his record. 2 pass defense, Denzel Perryman and Benjamin St. Juste. Carolina will kick it off to Tampa Bay to begin this drive. So the Bucs will begin the second half with possession of the football right now. So they're going to play each other in Week 18. And it's going to be even more interesting. So the kick is up. And it's another line drive kick. Takes a bounce. And will be returned by Johnson. Cameron Johnson past the 30. And he is brought down. And speaking of scores right now, the Vikings up 13-10. That's the same score as this one. They're up against the Giants. Saints 9, Jets 6, Titans 9, Chiefs 6. So what the Bucs need to do is fix some of the penalties that they have been flagged for, in which they've been undisciplined near the end of that first half. Those penalties need to be fixed. The false starts and ineligible man downfield penalties, of course. But it's another for the illegal blindside block. Play fake is Mayfield keeping it, and this is going to be blown up. Mike Jackson. Right in on the play to blitz it, and Tez Johnson was blown up. A rookie out of Oregon who was teammates with Bucky Irving in college football. And eventually, if you don't want to get things going, if you don't want to get things going against you, you have to make the plays in which you have to make. And that time, Jackson did. 2nd and 11 on a shotgun set. 2 right and 2 left. On the opposite side, here's Bucky Irving. Wrapped up 4 yards on this run up the middle. It'll be 3rd and 7. As we speak of 2 Oregon teammates getting their reps here. First it was Johnson, and now it is Irving. A catch, but it was a catch for negative yardage from Johnson, which he does not want. And you think of the Buccaneers, you think of the playmakers, you want to get them involved. They're 3 of 7 on 3rd down, averaging 7.3 yards to go. Panthers have 5 guys on the line, Mike Evans in ISO coverage, all loaded at the left side. 3 receivers right. On shotgun is Mayfield. It's the Panthers blitz. He gets away from the pressure. Baker Mayfield got to take off and roll it. He has the first down and then some. Right to the 40-yard line. He can use those legs whenever he wants. That's the most underrated attribute of his game. He has so much energy playing the Carolina Panthers ever since he was cut on December 2022. He gets away from the blitz on the right side, and then it's a foot race from there. Christian Roseboom could not catch up. He sees that everybody is covered and doesn't look back. 8-11 for 40 yards and a touchdown is Baker Mayfield. Running right is Jalen McMillan. Here is Bucky Irving this time around. 5 yards as the Bucs are going to establish the run. And that scramble from Mayfield may have gotten more total yardage onto them on the ground today. More energy is needed from the Buccaneers on trying to establish this run. And the energy is what they're feeling right now that they're in Carolina territory. The rush offense today, 22 rushes or 18 yards, 5.4 yards per carry among the Buccaneers, including scrambles. 2nd and 4 as Bucky got 6 yards up the middle that time around. Single back set on a bunch. Motion inside zone on the left side, and Irving stopped 1 yard short of the first down by Nick Scorton. First, it'll be 3rd and 1 as Scorton establishing himself as the face of this defense, the rookie out of Texas A&M. The Panthers will love a stop on 3rd and 1. And the Bucs would love a conversion chance here. Shotgun set, and it'll be a run for Irving. He gets the first down, easy as day. Needed 1, he got 2. All of this has been designed runs here throughout this drive, and running the football is something that the Buccaneers have been wanting to stick to here in this second half. And immediately Josh Grizzard goes to the rushing attack to begin this drive. It does help establish the passing game. Try and go play action if you can. Strong pistol set on the right side. Switch formations of double shotgun. Baker to throw this time around. Swings it out right side for Rachaad White. Gets forced out by Smith Wade. And Baker Mayfield taking what the defense gives him. Took 5 sacks last week. Immediately makes a smart play and dumps off on the right side to the open man that is White. Positive yardage by any means. White is on the sidelines for this play. It's a pistol set. Motioning left, it is Jalen McMillan in the slot. And he comes back towards the right side. A run to left from Irving who goes right on the cut. He gets 4 yards out of this. Nice cutback from Bucky Irving on this run. Now on 3rd and 4, the interesting question is, do they go pass or do they stick it to the ground? Given that the Buccaneers have found success here on the ground here today. 25 rushing plays compared to the Panthers' 9. The Bucs have been wanting the Panthers to beat them through the air. So far, that's been the case. The exclamation point being on the Ted McMillan touchdown. Motioning right is Chris Godwin to the slot. Shotgun set to left and to right. Panthers bring extra men for a possible blitz, and they will blitz. Mayfield wide open. Chris Godwin for the first down. Takes it out of bounds for 5 yards to move those sticks. The outside leverage from Godwin. And he was there to get open on the outside route. Setting the one-on-one battle of Chow Smith-Wade. Weeping out for an easy catch to take it out. Now Tampa Bay would love to get a touchdown on the board now they're in the red zone. They're bottom half in the NFL in red zone conversion percentage. Payne Durham motions. And here's McMillan on an end around at the Buccaneers zone. This time the Panthers wrap him up. Quaden Cherylus forces just a gain of 1 off the McMillan end around. Taking the hand off inside to Rachaad White. McMillan taking his handoff. And it looked like Cherylus was held on the play by Payne Durham. It doesn't matter much. It's just a gain of 1 as McMillan shaking his head on the sideline. Baker calling for the motion for Bucky to come to his right. Here he is on the carry. Bucky Irving gets only about 3 yards. LaBryan Ray to shut that run down. Bucky Irving has been stellar when healthy, but they need more from him to establish a consistent running game. Ray being primarily a run stopper for Carolina, and the Panthers wanting to hold the Buccaneers to just a field goal if they want to keep this game within their grasp. This will be the 12th play of this drive, one that's taken off half of this 3rd quarter. Cade Otton motions all the way to the left. It is trips left, 1 right. Godwin in his slot left side. On shotgun, 3rd and 8. And 3rd and 6, Mayfield throwing to a wide open Rachaad White. Trying to take it in. And he is stopped short. 1st and goal. Underneath every single time. White comes over towards the middle side, opening that hole up. Nobody picks him up. With Cade on him towards the inside. And White made everyone pay. Mike Evans all the way to the right on one-on-one coverage. First and goal. Is Mayfield going to go to him again? He will. And this time it's broken up. Mike Jackson in coverage again, just like in a touchdown pass. And Mayfield knew exactly what to do, which is to throw to Mike Evans. This time Jackson was ready for it, or rather that was a low up high on the release. Just a little late. And it looked like something may have distracted Mayfield. But a great throw from him nonetheless. It is second and goal. Do the Buccaneers switch things up and go with the run? This time Evans is wide out to the left. And with J.C. Horn in coverage. Irving in motion all the way to the right. Throw is way up high. And a flag comes in late. Horn in coverage up against Evans. And yes, if you look at pass interference, that release may have been wobbly, but that was clear pass interference from Horn. And he doesn't think it was a pass interference against him. The Bucs will have a fresh set of downs. He'll be first and goal here. Baker Mayfield wanting to cap off this drive with a touchdown, being granted a second life here. Ball at the 1 yard line, trips right. Sean Tucker to the left, and he'll waltz in for the touchdown. The crowd's still angry about that pass interference call, as Tampa Bay will retake the lead here, 16-13. And whether or not that was pass interference is up for debate. But a nice edge set by Tristan Wirfs on the left side with Cade Otton setting up another second level block. J.C. Horn to set that power. Too easy of a walk-in for Tucker. The extra point is good. No doubt about it for McLaughlin. It's 17-13. The Panthers will take up possession. That drive lasted over 8 minutes. An efficient drive from the Bucs. I'm Alec Nava. We'll be back. Bucs with touchdown drives on their first drives of their halves. They started the game with a first half touchdown drive, and they started the second half with a first drive touchdown drive. Tampa Bay wanted to control their own destiny in the NFC South. A win gets them up to a 96% chance of clinching the division. McLaughlin sends this as deep as he can, and this will be a touchback, which brings the Panthers all the way to the 35. That's where they're going to be at. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills are up 23-10 on the Cleveland Browns. Remember, Dylan Gabriel entered the game for an injured Shedeur Sanders, and a second major injury has occurred. This one being Quinshon Judkins, and it does not look good. Servicemen and women in attendance for this game with the Panthers, as Bryce Young under center again in a shotgun set, 2 left and 2 right. Oh, there might be movement. And the officials noticed that late. What was the delay from them? It was like, whoa. And that was Austin Corbett. But it took the officials a little too long for them to notice that. They did get the flag down in time. And it's 16-6 Titans over the Gardner Minshew-less Chiefs now. We already know Patrick Mahomes is out for the year with a torn ACL. Minshew is out for this game. Jalen Coker in motion on the fake to Hubbard. Young escapes. Gonna take it himself. Bryce Young wanting to run this out of bounds. Oh, he gets run over by Hassan Reddick. But the Panthers appreciate the effort from him. I don't think he was out of bounds, though. But what a good effort. Hassan Reddick chasing him down all the way. And with nobody open, he said, I'll take this myself. You know, if the fans don't like it, he held up pretty well. Ooh. That sleeve. 2nd and 7. First down marker is to 45. On single back, this is Hubbard on the handoff. Chuba Hubbard gains the edge. He has the first down. The Edmonton native gets the first down as he runs this one out past the Buccaneer defense. We want to establish the edge on the outside. The Bengals are up 31-14 on the Dolphins, and it's Chase Brown twice. But mostly the ground attack. T. Higgins. The only touchdown pass from Joe Burrow's only touchdown pass went to T. Higgins. That run went for 11 yards. They're at the Carolina 48. Play fake to Hubbard. Young keeping it. Running it himself. And he's going to throw it off to Mitchell Evans. Another first down. The third tight end on this depth chart. Right behind Sanders and Tremble. And with 5 minutes left in the third, Bryce Young gets by through all the defensive linemen. That was a pretty low pass. It was scooped up from Evans, and he was ready for the adjustment. And that was with Adam Gotsis right on Young's face. Less than 5 minutes to go. Empty set here. 3 receivers to the right and to the left. Here's Bryce Young on first down. He steps up away from the pressure. He got to take it himself. He gets away from one man. And he gets 4 yards on this run as he got away from the pressure among the defensive linemen. And that was Logan Hall who got up to him. The Buccaneers wanted to get edge pressure on Bryce Young. But that time it didn't happen. It was Hall who got him. The 4th-year man off Houston. And Young a little shaken up at the end. But overall, he's okay. Now Jason Pierre-Paul, the other activation from the practice squad, on the field for the Buccaneers as one of the 2 edge rushers. On the motion right is Coker. Quick throw to Ted McMillan. McMillan evades one man. The second one comes in. That is Levante David. Jacob Parrish also there. This is JPP's first game since December of 2023 and is 183rd of his career. He has 94.5 career sacks, which is 8th among active players. And he's back with the Buccaneers, the team which he won a Super Bowl with in the 1 year with Tom Brady. JPP was paired opposite of Shaq Barrett on the edges in that year. 3rd and 1, trips left, 1 right. The one guy to the right is McMillan. Box splits, Young to the right. Caught! What a catch! Ted McMillan! How about this kid? They're outside the red zone, but this kid's something special. On the turnaround of a little aloha to Benjamin Morrison. And he was also getting held up on the play too. Picture perfect catch. Bobbled it to himself. Wow. That is absolutely spectacular. Motioning right is Coker. Here's a read option play for Bryce Young. Trying to run this out of bounds, and he will. 9 yards on this run. I still believe he is short of the sticks, but there was some wrestling action between Morrison and Jimmy Horn Jr. That connection between Young and McMillan, 6 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown catch. Emeka Egbuka was targeted once. He does not have a catch in this game. This drive taking up just about the rest of the third quarter if the Panthers want to. This is 2nd and 1. McMillan is all low at the right side. 3 receivers to the left. Hubbard has the first down. Now, where are they going to spot this ball is the question. Is it going to be 1st and goal or 1st and 10? They'll say 1st and 10. Chuba Hubbard rolling on this drive. They're going with him. Alternating between him and Rico Dowdle. Bucks switch up defenders. And speaking of practice squad call-ups, Sadiq Charles was the practice squad call on offense for the Panthers. Isaiah Simmons on defense. This is essentially 1st and goal. The ball is at the 10.5 yard line. Empty set for Young with 3 receivers left, 2 right. McMillan to the right in the slot with Hubbard. Young throws middle for the end zone. Incomplete. Broken up by Parrish. He was looking towards Coker. And a nice hand and away from Parrish. The rookie corner out of Kansas State. Just when Young was targeting in Coker, the 2nd-year man out of Holy Cross. Batted this one down. Excellent one-on-one coverage. Single back. Hubbard is the running back. Lee get motions right onto a tight end spot. McMillan is all low at the right side. Here's the give to Hubbard. Trying to get ahead of David. 3 yards on this run up the middle. Eventually, he gets caught up in the action. It is 3rd and 5. The next play will be the last one of this third quarter in all likelihood. Unless if there's an incomplete pass or a touchdown here. Levante David, one of the best defenders in Buccaneers history. And here is 3rd and 5 here from the 6.5 yard line in Buccaneer territory. Essentially being 3rd and goal. 3 receivers left. And you have 1 tight end to the right. Block and release from Sanders. Young escaping pressure. Getting away. Young throws it to the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Jatavion Sanders. And the crowd goes crazy. Yash Neisman might have gotten away with a hold on the left tackle side on Yaya Diaby, but Diaby, as he tried to jump up towards Young to get the sack, Young adjusts and floats one to the end zone, stinging like a bee. Extra point, no doubt about it. It's been a seesaw of emotions for the Carolina Panthers this season. Young gets away from Diaby and floats one like a butterfly. The catch stings like a bee. 8 seconds to go in the third quarter. Panthers lead 20-17. That was just the second touchdown catch by a tight end this season from the Carolina Panthers. The other belonged to Mitchell Evans in Week 5 against the Miami Dolphins. Second different, or rather, that was the third one. Before this game, the Panthers have had 3 touchdowns from tight ends. This is the 4th one on the season. You had 1 from Tommy Tremble, 2 from Mitchell Evans, and now this one from Sanders. In critical moments, want to know who comes out on top. Very short kick returned from the 14, and Johnson breaks a tackle, returning this back past midfield, shoved out of bounds at Panther territory, and that's where the Bucs will begin to start the 4th quarter. Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers will start at the Carolina 37-yard line when we come back here for the final 15 minutes, barring overtime. What a return from Cameron Johnson. Alex Nava here with you. We'll be right back. To start the fourth quarter, it is the Buccaneers at the Panther 37. Greg Olsen getting the crowd hyped up. They're going to put it at the 38. Excuse me for those turning into the Twitter Spaces side. I didn't activate the mic, but early movement. That was obvious. That's the second time against Genge. That's 4 penalties against the right tackle, Luke Genge. Oh my goodness. It's been that type of day for him. Baker Mayfield, only 60 passing yards. One of the worst outputs statistically in terms of the number of passing yards here. But yeah, just 3 penalties all on Genge. That's the third penalty against him. And here's the motion to the right. Here is Bucky Irving on the run as he cuts back to the 43. Man, that could have been a lot worse than it was. But man, we see on scoring drives that there's a touchdown, the field goal and a touchdown for the Buccaneers. 10 plays that took for the first touchdown drive. The other 2 took 14 plays each. In between all of that, the Bucs have had 7 plays combined on the other drives. 2nd and 10 as motioning left is Otten. He goes back to the left of Wirfs. Now motioning right is Taz Johnson. Mayfield looks. Throws a dart to the middle for the first down to Godwin. Inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. Baker Mayfield, when it matters most and needing to operate at his most efficient, he's there. Even though he has just 60 passing yards on the day, he can strike at any time. Cam Jackson tried to bat down the ball as well. Now at the 29, right then left on the motion is Egbuka. And the veterans have been showing out here, Evans and Godwin. Now here's Irving up the middle for 5 yards. DJ warned him to tackle. When you're dominating the line of scrimmage on the run, you have control of it. Usually on the run game, usually could lead to the passing lanes being opened up. But so far that hasn't been the case. The Panthers lead 20-17, and they will want to hold the Bucs to a field goal. They're outgaining the Panthers in rushing yards 144 to 93, the Buccaneers are. It's 2nd and 5 with Irving in motion. And now motioning right is White. Baker Mayfield on the keep. Maybe 1 or 2. And there is a tackle stop there. That read option play. And a good job to let go upon release, knowing that Irving was going to get tackled for a loss of 1. The tiebreaker is even in the division. The tiebreaker is on common opponents in favor of the Buccaneers. That's why they lead the NFC South. 3rd and 4. Otten motions to the left. It's trips left and 1 right. Chris Godwin also there to trips left. Mayfield throwing. It's the Panthers blitz after. Horns there. Mayfield gets away for the first one, but not the second one. Derek Brown and Nick Scorton both combine with 2 others to force a field goal. How about this blitz from Ejiro Evero's defense? Off the edges. There is mix and match all around. Horn, the initial touch to have Mayfield feel under duress. And then everyone else comes after him as Horn reaches him as Mayfield sheds off him. Scorton and Brown both combine on the follow-up. This is a 50-yard attempt straight on the right hash for Chase McLaughlin. He made his first kick from 23. This one is good. And we're tied at 20. The Panther defense does the job in holding the Buccaneers to a field goal on a huge 3rd down sack. And it's level at 20. The Panthers have the ball. Up next, I'm Alec Nava. Stay tuned. Joey Logano also here, three-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. The Daytona 500 is in 2 months. On February the 15th. He and his son are both here watching the action up close. Scott McLaughlin also here, a 7-time IndyCar Series winner. And don't forget about the Indy 500 over at May. So what does he know about motorsports and all of that? All that's missing is the now Formula One champion Lando Norris. 11:24 left in the fourth quarter. We're tied at 20 in this NFC South division bout. McLaughlin sends it to the back of the end zone. So the Panthers will start for the 35 again. Now we'll see what Bryce Young and company can do in this time frame. It is tight between the Chargers and the Cowboys. 24-17, the Chargers still lead. The Bills are up 23-17 on the Browns. However, the Bills passed up on a field goal on 4th and 4 to try and go for it. That backfired. The Panthers being the personification of chaos incarnate. Bryce Young this year looking for a jump in his development. And here he had career highs all across the board. But he still needs to take another step in his development. Question is if he can do that. Coker motions right. Young throws a quick pass to him. Catch made. That looked awfully close. That's 5 yards. Bryce Young has had game-winning drives against the Dolphins, Cowboys, Packers, Falcons, and Rams this season. The Carolina Reaper. So that's what they call him here. Of course, stranger things do happen. And those 5 game-winning drives are proof of that. 2nd and 5. Motioning right is Jimmy Horn Jr. Through the middle, Dowdle. 3 yards. With Logan Hall wrapping him up. Dave Canales and Brad Idzik managing this offense. These two are offensive gurus. Dowdle, the newest member of the 1,000 rushing yard club. This is his 2nd straight season with at least 1,000 rushing yards, showing what he can do when given the opportunity. 3rd and 2. Game tied at 20. Pistol set, Hubbard in as the running back. Motioning right is Bryson Tremaine. First time that we see is Hubbard wanting to get a second push, and he does. First down with those strong legs. The man from Edmonton, Alberta. And a diehard Edmonton Oilers fan. That's his hometown. The 5th-year man from Oklahoma State. Making it through. And both he and Rico Dowdle, they benefit off one another as they split the carries most of the time. Here, Dowdle is back on the backfield, single back. Play fake. Young stumbles, stays upright. Not for long, though. David and Dennis both combine on the inside linebacker blitz. Todd Bowles' specialty pays off on 1st down. A middle linebacker as Dowdle could only block off Dennis for so long. And push was not enough. As Mayfield applauds that. Loss of 11. And Carolina is backed up at their own 37. Under pressure on 28 dropbacks, 12 pressures. He's been sacked twice. Empty set for the Cardiac Cats as Young. Under pressure again. Runs out towards the left side. Looking to throw it. Heaves it deep on the left side. A little too high for Jalen Coker. The Panthers looking for a flag, but it was not a catchable ball. 3rd and 21. So let's do this over again. Coker won isolation 1-on-1 with Jacob Parrish. Does a double move, but cannot gain space right on Parrish. And it looked like there might have been something. It might have gone away with something, maybe illegal contact. Excuse me, that was not 2nd and 21, that's 2nd and 19, so it was a loss of 9 in that sack. On the shotgun, here's Young, rolling out left. Young, just going to dump this out for Hubbard and twist it down immediately. Not even close to the line of scrimmage. And it was Parrish to stop, forcing a punt from Sam Martin. First time that we've seen it in a while. As Young and company exit towards the Carolina sidelines. Good job from Todd Bowles' defense as they upped the intensity that time around. We know Baker Mayfield, who was 5-0 against the Panthers in his career, 4 of those wins coming here with Tampa Bay. So sitting back and playing defense all throughout. Sam Martin sends this off. Cameron Johnson back deep. He calls for the fair catch. And he gets it at the 12. That's where the Bucs will start here at the Queen City. Bucs 20. Panthers 20. Alec Nava here with you. We'll return. Next week is going to be an interesting one in Week 17. The most likely games they'll cover are the Los Angeles Chargers up against the Houston Texans. On the Saturday game, that's the afternoon one. And then the Sunday game, it's going to be either or. The San Francisco 49ers and the Chicago Bears, or the Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills. The Eagles have clinched their division. The Bills trying to storm back and take the division for themselves, which can be helped out with a win and a Ravens win over the Patriots. Bucs starting for their own 12. Play fake. Here is Mayfield. Under pressure, he gets away. He's going to run for it. Up for the left side. Mayfield tripped up. Reaches out. Flag out. We'll check the penalty. He did reach out for the first down. We'll have to check this penalty out, though. And once again, it is Gedeke, the guilty party. Luke Gedeke has been having a really rough game today. He's accounted for 4 penalties, and the most recent being the hold on A'Shawn Robinson. And Mayfield wanted to get away from the pressure, which he did. But man, Gedeke, he roughed up Robinson that time around, put him in a tough position. 1st and 16 at the 6-yard line as it was half the distance to the end zone. Motions all around. Egbuka is all the way to the left. Matched up one-on-one is his likely man coverage. caught immediately, and down is McMillan. So still no catches for Igbokwe. It'll be 2nd and 11. The Panthers going to take advantage of the penalty on Genge here. And the Buccaneers trying to think about it. Maybe a run up the middle could be what they need, but the Panthers have largely shut down the run throughout the most part. 31 rushes, 19 passes. On the play selection from Josh Grizzard. This is a pass, the 20th. Mayfield steps up and throws towards the left side, wide open! Igbokwe at midfield! There's the play the Bucs were expecting from him. Emeka Igbokwe out of wide receiver U. He goes through at the middle of the football field and in a flash takes it 40 yards. They turn a 2nd and 11 into a favorable position. And finally, Mayfield is eclipsed 100 passing yards. Just the second time that he's been targeted all game long. The running back here is Bucky Irving. And immediately wrapped up, Nick Scorton came in hot. He's been all over the place. And even though he only has 3.5 sacks, he's one of the strongest on the team. One can expect that he has a very bright future ahead of him at edge rusher. Don't be surprised if he improves on his sack totals next season. This is his rookie year. It's a loss of 2 forced by Scorton on Irving. Scorton position opposite Genge as Taz Johnson motions right. Here's a blitz. Mayfield steps up and throws a dart and incomplete. Mike Jackson on the coverage opposite Mike Evans. It is excellent coverage from Jackson, the former Seahawk. As Evans went on the in route one-on-one, and Jackson knew exactly what to do, and he was physical with it. Got his hand up front. And Mayfield not happy. He was looking for pass interference. Jackson had his head turned towards the ball the entire way. The Bucs are 7-12 on 3rd down, averaging 6.2 yards, needing for conversion. Igbokwe's at the slot left side. Oh, they need to get the play off. Here's the blitz again. And Mayfield under duress, and he's hauled down. Christian Roseboom got to him. But will this stand? And the Panthers may be shaking their heads with that one because the delay of game penalty wipes off the sack on the blitz. It was Christian Roseboom who brought down Mayfield. So the Bucs will still have a chance, but it's 3rd and 17. The play clock expired just as Mayfield got it off. And absolutely it did. 3rd and 17. Set up at midfield thanks to the big catch from Igbokwe, just his first of the game. The Panthers are defending the deep portion of the field, looking to prevent a deep ball. J.C. Horn position back deep as Mayfield steps back, gonna throw long, short, a low throw. Chris Godwin thought he had it. It was good coverage nonetheless, but we're going to take an extra look at this one. And yes, that is incomplete. Once again, it was Jackson on the coverage. Not trying to make any pop culture references here, but the temptation is growing. And that forced a pump from Riley Dixon. And with 4:57 left, all 3 timeouts, there's ample enough time for the Carolina Reaper to come up huge here at Charlotte, North Carolina. The punt is off. Oh, that was nearly blocked. Are there flags down in the area? Yes, there are. It's to be returned by ETN. And I think this is going to be... Are they going to roll it as running into the kicker, or running into the punter, or roughing the punter? Princey Omamialan was nearby in the area. It's not an automatic if it is running into. If it is roughing, then it is automatic. Oh my goodness. They are going to discuss it. And Carolina is hoping that it's not roughing the punter. And I thought that on one end I can understand either argument. And Sean Smith gets the explanation from Dave Canales about it. Well, so it is a holding penalty on Evan Deckers. There was no roughing the punter on the play. So the Panthers will start from the 27-yard line. 10 yards are added to the start of this drive. They have 4:46 and 3 timeouts to work with. We'll be right back here in a moment. Bucs fans are irate about the no call about roughing the punter on social media. And the Panthers start from their own 27. Young throws right side, caught Tommy Tremble. And he gets 6 yards, a healthy gain with the stop from Ben Morrison. And we'll look at the no penalty on the contact with the punter. And in all honesty, Mike Pereira says that it would be running into the punter. And Dave Canales is clearly upset about it. And so are the other coaches about how there was not running into the punter or roughing the punter. Single back set with Dowdle as the running back. Play fake to him. Young sets up the screen to him. And that was read perfectly by Logan Hall. Great job reading that. I know Thomas McGahee, the special teams coordinator of the Buccaneers, still upset And Young, 20 of 30, 158 yards, 2 touchdown passes on this day against the Buccaneers. Well, it's been a very back and forth affair. More defensive, if anything. 3rd and 4. McMillan and Coker are to the right. The Panthers 5 of 10 on 3rd downs. They need 4 here. They average 7.1. McMillan motions left, trailing him as Parrish. They got the snap off on time as the Bucs send 5. Young airs it to the right side for Coker. Caught! There is a flag down, however. There may be a push or shove. In the meantime, with 3:10 to go, we'll have to see the penalty. Benjamin Morrison for pass interference. The penalty is declined as Jalen Coker sets up the Panthers into Buccaneer territory with a big grab here late in the 4th quarter. Adjusts and looks at it and takes several more steps right after the adjustment, and he is celebrating right afterwards. They are now set up at the Buccaneer 33. Pistol set, Jimmy Horn Jr. in motion to the right. Run to the left for Dowdle. Nice hole, but it's closed off quickly. Savosia Dennis with the stop. And do remember about the Carolina Reaper. He has 11 career game-winning drives. He is the youngest quarterback in NFL history to reach 11 game-winning drives. And while he is a project pick, of course, do note this. 11 of his 13 career wins came with game-winning drives. Dowdle in motion, then comes back to the right of Young in shotgun. 2 left and 2 right. Dowdle breaks free from the first tackle, but not the second. Tyke Smith stepped up from a strong safety position to limit him to a 3-yard gain. A timeout in the meantime. 2:28 to go here in the 4th quarter. And it's Hassan Reddick who is walking off on his own power, banged up. Do remember, we are not past the 2-minute warning, so the Buccaneers are not charged a timeout. It's 3rd and 7, with the Buccaneers looking to hold off the Panthers, and the Panthers wanting to get another 1st down, so they set up Ryan Fitzgerald for a game-winning field goal. A 1st down here will be super beneficial to the Panthers. The Bucs need to stop here. And Panther fans on their feet, some of them wanting to quiet down the rest of the crowd so as to not distract this offense. On 3rd and 7, the clock starts as the Panthers are in the huddle. And Austin Corbett walks away from the huddle and in position. They last converted the 3rd down earlier in this drive with Jalen Coker as Jatavion Sanders motion left, Ted McMillan setting up in the slot left side. And now a timeout is called with 2:08 left. This time it's the Buccaneers using their first timeout. And the Carolina Reaper wanting to get this wrapped up here in Charlotte. We'll be right back. The big play in this drive coming from the Jalen Coker catch up the far sideline to lead the Panthers onto Buccaneer territory. He is pumped up. And here, Bryce Young, the Carolina Reaper, could put this to an end. 2:28 to go. And it's 3rd and 7. They put time back on the clock. A first down will help the Panthers a lot. 3 receivers to the right. Shotgun set with Hubbard as the running back. 1 tight end that is to the left of Nijman, the backup left tackle. Bryce Young wanting to go for his 12th career game-winning drive. On the motion is Horn as the Bucs blitz. Young gets away, and that pressure got to him. Incomplete pass. That'll limit the Panthers to a field goal. And it sets up Baker Mayfield Company on well enough time to lead a game-winning drive. And Ryan Fitzgerald looking for the go-ahead kick. And nobody was open there. Jimmy Horn Jr. was wide open at the right side as Young tried to escape towards the left, but nothing could do. It's a 48-yard attempt for Fitzgerald from the left hash. Career long 57 as this kick is up, and it is good. The Panthers lead it 23-20. However, there's 2:20 on the clock, and the Buccaneers have 2 timeouts. With that in mind, we'll see how this holds up when we return here for all the marbles. Week 16. The winner of this game will move to first place in the NFC South and have firm control of it all throughout. I'm Alec Nava here with you. The Panthers lead it 23-20. Bryce Young and the Panthers looking to hold on. The defense needing to hold up here because if the Bucs do get into field goal territory, then it could be set up for overtime. Now, do remember, the Panthers have all 3 timeouts. And also, the Bucs have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning with them on their side. They are down by a field goal, but only a field goal can tie it. They can also take the lead of a touchdown, potentially to win it. And remember, Baker Mayfield's perfect record against the Panthers is also on the line. He's 5-0 against them in his career. 4 to 5 wins coming as a member of the Buccaneers. And do remember, Ryan Fitzgerald has not been doing good at kickoffs. Most of these kicks are line drive kicks, and this one no different. This time it bounces to the end zone. And among with percentages, if the Buccaneers win, their chance of winning the NFC South, 96%. With a loss, 59%. For the Panthers, their chance of winning the NFC South with a win, it improves to 41%. But with a loss, it goes down to 4%. A flag is on the play. And more shots to their own feet for the Buccaneers as there's another penalty against them. John Bullock, rookie linebacker out of Nebraska, getting called for a dead ball unnecessary roughness penalty. Uncalled for. And it puts the Buccaneers back at their own 20 instead of starting at their own 35 with that touchback. Well, scratch that. They're at their own 10-yard line now because that ball bounced into the end zone. And they would have started from their own 20. Mayfield starts the drive with a catch to Mike Evans on a throw left. Wide open. Do the Buccaneers go hurry up, or are they going to let this play on to the 2-minute warning? They're in no rush right now. In all likelihood, they're going to let this one go to the 2-minute warning. It was 6 yards for Evans on the throw left for Mayfield. When we come back, the Buccaneers trying to lead a game-tying or a game-winning drive for the NFC South first-place spot. Alec Nava here with you. We'll return for all the marbles. The Bucs at their own 16-yard line after the 6-yard catch from Mike Evans following the unnecessary roughness penalty on John Bullock. Mike Evans has been a thorn on the Panthers' side throughout the history of this rivalry since 2013. Now Baker Mayfield looking to lead a game-tying or game-winning drive against his former team. What will he do here on 2nd and 4? 3 receivers right, 1 left. Motioning left is Egbuka. Panthers send 5 after Mayfield. He steps up away from the pressure. Gonna run for the first down and then some. Mayfield looking to go out of bounds. He will. Out at the 43. We know about Bryce Young evading pressure. Baker Mayfield has done it for much longer too. He gets away from Ashawn Robinson on the sidestep, and it's a foot race. Just as Nick Scott is about to catch up to him, he runs this out. It's a 23-yard run for Mayfield. First down and 10. They have to get to the Panther 48 to get in range. Mayfield stepping up, has a wide open man, and is off the hands of McMillan. Roseboom almost had an interception, which would have been the first turnover of the game. And the Panthers going to get a defensive takeaway as McMillan wanting to get his hands onto him. As Rosemoon dove for it, it was too low for him to even catch it. McMillan knew that he had that, but he dropped it. Now 2nd and 10. Shotgun again. Bucky Irving, the running back. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Watch for Nick Scorton against Gedeke. Mayfield wide open middle, and immediately the boom. On the middle side from Chow Smith Wade, Mike Evans was there. Bucks have 2 timeouts, Panthers have 3. Immediately the Bucks go no huddle as the clock continues to run, 3rd and 4. 3 receivers, 2 to the left and 1 to the right. Mike Evans all alone with J.C. Horn. Mayfield to the middle for the first down, and they're in range. At the 43-yard line, Cade Otton. Didn't play against Atlanta because of the knee injury. But Mayfield fired up now as the Buccaneers are rolling. Trying to send this game to overtime or even go for the win. Mayfield looking short to Evans. He caught it at the 38, wrapped up by Scott. Clock still rolling and a timeout taken. 47 seconds, 2nd and 4. That is the second timeout called by Tampa Bay. As Evans is taking advantage of the open space that he is getting. The Panthers trying to prevent any deep balls, but that's the wrong move. The Bucks are playing the short passing game, not the long ball. Even though Bryce Young and the Carolina Reaper, they did get a go-ahead drive. 4 rushes, 49 yards for Mayfield. 18-25 for 145 yards. And that 1 touchdown throw to Mike Evans. Mayfield has 16 career game-winning drives. The last one was Week 5 against the Seahawks. Otton is positioned as a wideout all the way to the right. He draws Trayvon Merrick in coverage. 49 seconds. And a flag immediately. It's for a false start. The good news is that it's not on Luke Gedeke. The bad news is that it's on Emeka Egbuka. It's for a false start nonetheless. And what was 2nd and 4 is now 2nd and 9. So Egbuka has not had a good game by his standards, as he only has 1 catch. That for 40 yards. And Baker Mayfield has only 145 passing yards on the day. Trying to lead them to a game-tired, game-winning drive. Mayfield on 2nd and 9. Drops back and steps up. Harass. Throws one. Intercepted! The first takeaway of the game belongs to the Panthers. And it'll end up being the only one. Laughing Ransom with redemption from last week. Ransom was on the bad end of a costly penalty last week against the New Orleans Saints, in which he hit Tyler Shuck as he was sliding to set up the game-winning field goal. This week, he was the one who intercepts Baker Mayfield and got redemption with 49 seconds to go. And the Panthers will claw their way to a huge NFC South victory. Bryce Young takes a knee. He'll have to take another one if the play clock's ahead. But the Carolina Panthers have finally defeated Baker Mayfield for the first time ever. And are very much alive in the playoff race. They're now at sole possession of first place in the NFC South, heading into next week's bout with the Seattle Seahawks with a huge 23-20 victory. The Carolina Reaper is alive and well, everyone. The Panthers, the Cardiac Cats, are here to stay for this season. To 8-7 they improve. As they all chant along to Sweet Caroline here at Bank of America Stadium. Here are your final stats. Bryce Young, 21 of 32 for 191 yards and 2 touchdown throws. Rico Dowdle of 9 carries with 29 yards. Ted McMillan with 6 catches for 73 yards and a touchdown to go with that. Jatavion Sanders has the other touchdown reception. He has 2 catches for 9 yards. Jalen Coker, 3 catches for 47 yards. And the biggest one, to set up the game-winning field goal from Ryan Fitzgerald, who was a perfect 3-for-3 on the day. The longest from 48. That was the winner. And on the other side for the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, 18-26 for 145 yards, a touchdown, but he gets intercepted by Laffin Ransom. Sean Tucker is a lone rushing touchdown on 4 carries, 3 yards. Bucky Irving, 19 carries for 71 yards. He's been a workhorse all year long. And Emeka Egbuka had only 1 catch that went for 40 yards. Mike Evans, 5 catches, 31 yards, and 1 touchdown. Chris Godwin, 5 catches, 30 yards. That's going to do it from Bank of America Stadium. I'm Alec Nava, and thanks to everyone who tuned in here on Twitter Spaces and Twitch. And a huge shout out to all the Carolina Panthers fans that came in here to listen in. Have a good day, everyone. Take care.